posterior tibial artery not only takes blood to the bottom of the foot, but also provides blood for the entire posterior compartment of that lower leg. Now, we got to fill in our exits. So our first one, starting back with femoral artery that went all the way down here, our first exit off is going to be the deep femoral artery. And deep femoral artery is just going to dive into the deep component of the thigh. Now, again, remember right here, right after the popliteal artery, this is still posterior tibial all the way down, but we have two branches coming off here. So our first one is the anterior tibial artery. And it's going to be taking blood through that interosseous membrane, and it's going to go out to the front of the leg, and it's just going to provide blood to the top of the foot, the dorsal side of the foot, and also that anterior compartment of the lower leg. And then the last one, the last branch, is the peroneal, which is going to be this one right here, and it's just going to go out laterally. Now, as we take a look at pictures here, starting from the inguinal ligament, this is where femoral artery is going to come out, and we will worry about femoral artery, what it was before the inguinal ligament, later on in Unit 3. But we're just going to start at inguinal ligament. As it comes down, this is femoral artery, and so its first branch going into the deep part of the leg is just deep femoral artery. Femoral artery continues down, goes somewhere around here through that adductor hiatus, then goes posteriorly. So in this picture, is kind of faded out. We'll see a little bit better picture of all of this that's faded out here in just a moment. But right here, this is going to be that popliteal artery behind the knee. And then right here, this is our first branch. It comes right here and then pops out. And then comes to the front of the lower leg and also the top of the foot. That's anterior tibial artery. Posterior tibial artery, remember, comes out just connected to popliteal, and it's going to continue all the way down there. And then right here, it's hard to see, but there is peroneal, or also you'll hear it called fibular artery that pops out and goes laterally. Taking a look at the posterior view, we can see all of these structures a little bit more clearly now. So we have our femoral artery right here. We have deep femoral artery that's coming in, diving deep into the leg. So as we continue down, you can see how the artery just naturally goes behind the knee here. So this, in relation to that drawing, is where we see that dotted blue line. So that's the popliteal artery behind the knee. Now also that first branch there, after about right here, this is where about posterior tibial is happening. So that first branch is anterior tibial, and you'll see it dive and go to the front. Remember, we're looking posteriorly here, so it's going to get faded out. But posterior tibial artery, you can see going all the way down here. And then that second branch right here, there is peroneal or fibular that goes down and just follows along the fibula. The veins are going to be the exact same as we saw with the arteries, but there's two extra ones. There's the greater saphenous or great saphenous vein and the lesser or small saphenous vein, but the other ones are the exact same. So taking a look here, we see again femoral vein, deep femoral vein, popliteal vein, still have posterior tibial vein that goes all the way down. We still have anterior tibial vein and peroneal vein, but our extra one, first one is great saphenous that goes from the big toe all the way up to the femoral vein here. So this is a very superficial vein, and it's one of the longest veins in the body. It's also one of the targets for if you need a coronary bypass, they take this out and use that to bypass your blockage. The other vein that we added is small saphenous vein right here, and it just runs right along the mid-calf. So it runs right over that gastrocnemius muscle and parts of soleus. Now looking posteriorly, again, we see femoral vein right here. Still have deep femoral vein right here. Popliteal vein. Still have anterior tibial vein, fibular vein or peroneal vein, posterior tibial vein. And now we see greater saphenous going all the way up here, dropping its blood off into femoral vein. And small saphenous is really coming out of the screen, and it drops its blood off into popliteal vein.